BNP Paribas, partenaire des plus belles histoires de Roland-Garros, aux côtés des ramasseurs de balles depuis plus de 50 ans.
Yeah, thank you. It's hopefully nothing too serious, but or for the last couple of weeks, I've been kind of struggling a little bit with knee pain on and off. That's why I decided to pull out of Geneva after Rome and do my best to heal and be ready here. So when you're practicing leading up to the tournament, it's kind of easier to avoid certain movements that are painful. It's not painful. Everything is not painful, but certain movements out there are kind of what makes it painful. Certain shots are painful to do, but when you're playing matches, you can't really control it in the same way. You do everything you can to get to every ball, and sometimes you kind of forget that this is a shot that I shouldn't go for, maybe in terms of pain in the knee. But that's pretty much all. It's been okay in practice because, like I said, I'm able to control it a bit more. But when you're playing match, you go full on no matter what happens. And I don't want to take anything away from Nuno because I think he played a phenomenal match and a really high level. But certain few shots out there are a bit painful for me to do. But other than that, it's kind of everything. It's not more than this.
You said hopefully it's not too serious. Have you had any sort of scan in the last week or so, or do you intend to have a scan?
Yeah, I have had a scan. I had a scan during Madrid, actually, in the beginning of the tournament. I felt it the first time in Monte Carlo, so it's been with me actually the whole clay season, on and off. And depending a little bit on how kind of physically tough some matches are, the day after it will either be a bit more sore things than sore or not. The scan didn't show any structural damage, which is a good thing. So there is just liquid of inflammation in there that needs to settle. But as we know, it's a hectic clay season, and I've decided to kind of push through it with doing some anti-inflammatory pills and painkillers to try to get rid of it, which has helped to a certain degree, but not enough. So I will have some more time now to let it heal and rest for a long time.
Hi, Casper. Was there a particular moment today where it felt worse? And also, did you give consideration to stopping playing today? And if not, why not?
I actually felt it quite early in the first set. I can tell you, like, one of the shots that hurts the most is to do like a sliding on the left foot, like an open stance backhand, is what hurts the most, as it's the left knee. So when you, it's very, very specific, but when you rotate my foot inwards, it also hurts a little on the left. So that's kind of the worst shot for me, and has been for a few weeks. I've tried not to show the opponents that it is, but and like I said, I've been avoiding that shot in practice for as much as I can, and it's been feeling pretty good. But then today, when you're playing a match, you're playing a slam, you go for everything, and you kind of forget about all this stuff. So I felt it immediately on the first one. It kind of came back, and then it didn't get any better. But I'm able to hit other shots and other movements. It's okay, but it's just kind of a bad feeling that it doesn't go away. And then, of course, I think the first two sets was great level. I played well in the first and also in the second, but Nuno also played really well. And then towards the third and fourth, it was just kind of not getting better. I tried to take more anti-inflammatory pills, but didn't really seem to help that much.
In terms of, even considering the idea of stopping?
Yeah, when you're out there, of course, it's a slam. I love this tournament, so it's looking back, I tried my best to continue, and I mean, just try to avoid the shots that are hurting. But towards the end, there are also other movements that start hurting, so it wasn't ideal. But I asked for the physio after the third set, hoping he could maybe make a change, and then quickly was love 4 down in the fourth. So I was thinking, anyways, might as well finish. We're 2 games away, so kind of that was my thoughts out there.
Casper, just wondered then, commiserations for today, but zooming out then on the clay season as a whole and where your game's at, how do you see it? Because obviously you had some great wins over the last couple of months, some difficult defeats, and then the injury today. How do you kind of look back on these and where you're at right now?
All in all, looking back, it's been some ups and downs and some really high ups. I reached some of the goals that I set for the clay season, and then today, or this result here in Paris, is not what I hoped for. But as the kind of this part of the clay season comes to an end, I'm proud of some of the results, or most of the results that I did. And over the course of my career, I've never had. I've been pretty fortunate and lucky with certain injuries. I hope and think this is not the most serious thing, but when it comes to also feeling pain in big matches, I've never really dealt with that. So I've been fortunate in this way. But also, as I said, I also would like to give credit to Nuno, because he played well, or very, very well, and I'm proud of myself for how I've been able to deal with it. But today I just had to kind of not give in, but I wasn't able to fight through it.
And might you skip the grass now?
We'll see. I mean, I'll go home and do some more scans as soon as possible and see if there's anything that has changed. But between Rome and here, I took 5 days completely off at home, and it wasn't enough to make the pain go away. So I definitely think that I would need more than 5 days off, and then take a status in a week or 2 and see where I'm at. But I wish I could stay here longer, but that it leaves more time, of course, to recover for upcoming tournaments.
Casper, you're obviously disappointed, but after last year as well, when you got sick, do you feel like, not that you're cursed because you got to 2 finals, but it's just extra disappointing?
Not really. Yes, of course. I wish, like I said, I could stay longer, and this is the slam where I feel like I have a bigger chance of doing well, but that doesn't mean that other players don't play well here either. I think if you look at the level today, until, let's say, the last set or whatever, I think Nuno showed that he's a great player on this surface. He handled my shots really well. I tried my best to kind of play as heavy as I can, but he just stood there, took everything on the rise, flat, low, deep. And even though I seem to think it's not topspin shots on clay is not the only way to play on this surface, and it's anyone's game. And of course there are certain favorites to do well here, but I think we will see some interesting results in the days to come.
Hi Casper.
Hey.
How tough do you feel it is these days on tour to feel okay with taking, 3 or 4 weeks to fully heal an injury? Is the guilt of not playing, bigger than, okay, I need that time, like you played on painkillers for the whole clay season? But was there a point where it was like, okay, I should not play, but I have to, or I want to?
Well, it's kind of like a rat race when it comes to the rankings as well. You feel you're obligated to play with certain rules that the ATP have set up with the mandatory events. And you feel like you lose a lot if you don't show up and play, both economically and point-wise, ranking-wise, and opportunity-wise. For me, I know that these weeks, months are really important for the remaining of the year and for my career. So, of course, if my leg is broken, I won't play. But it's tough anyways, especially when there's a time with mandatory events to skip them, because the punishments are quite hard. Both in terms that everyone else will play and kind of gain points and you won't. And also there's a certain bonus system set up that is reduced if you don't show up to the mandatory events. So it's a questionable system, because on one hand you don't want to show up injured and you'd maybe give the spot to another one. I'm not sure if you're aware, but if you don't play a mandatory event, they cut 25% of your year-end bonus. So it's a kind of, you're kind of forcing players to show up injured or sick or whatever, when that's not what I think is very fair. So anyways, it's been dealable. Like I said, I've been able to deal with the pain. It hasn't been too bad. Some days worse than others, and I'm just looking forward to not being on some painkillers for some days now, and let it really heal and rest, and see where I'm at in a few weeks.